So, why is Informer discussing Salvatore Maranzano now? Researchers have long been bothered by the lack of a photograph of Prohibition era Mafia leader Salvatore Maranzano. 1 decade ago, in the July 2009 issue of Informer, Mafia historian David Critchley discussed a widely circulated mugshot photo that had been passed off as Maranzano. Critchley noted that the image had made the rounds since initial publication in the 1990 book. It had been copied into books, magazines, and websites, always captioned as Maranzano and never credited to any specific source. Critchley revealed that the same photo had been printed with an article on British vice criminal Salvatore Messina in an August 1967 issue of the London Sunday Times. He managed to confirm that the photo was of Messina, not Maranzano, by locating Messina's mugshot in a Scotland Yard history entitled The History of Clubs and Vice. There seemed to be no official U.S. government mugshots of Maranzano for the simple reason that Maranzano was not arrested. He was sought by law enforcement on more than one occasion, but never photographed until after his murder. During the police investigation of the killing, just a few known photographs were taken of the dead mafia leader. These did not provide much in the way of facial detail. The only other known image of Maranzano was a coroner's sketch that roughly showed the profile of his face and pinpointed the wounds inflicted on his body. For the July 2009 issue, Informer attempted to blend the crime scene photos and sketch into an image of the living Maranzano, but there was no method of gauging the accuracy of the result. Then, early this past April, Informer received an email from a Canadian researcher who believed he was on the verge of obtaining an actual image of Maranzano. The researcher discovered a 1931 Italian magazine that contained an article and a photograph of Maranzano, and told Informer of his find. We initially were skeptical that any published image of the mafia leader had managed to escape notice for nearly 88 years. But on April 25th, the researchers shared the magazine article and photograph. We noted there were obvious similarities between the image and the crime scene photos, coroner's sketch, and our own blended image of Maranzano. As he provided the materials, the researcher wrote, quote, Maranzano has intrigued me since I saw the movie The Valachi Papers years ago. Sadly, it is probably too late for anyone to write a book about his life, since there is no one around who remembers him, and also so little information about him still exists. End quote. In case there are some who do not already know, Maranzano was a bootlegger and mafioso in the New York area during the late 1920s. He rose to command a successful gangland rebellion against reigning boss of bosses Giuseppe Masseria in 1930 and 31, and took for himself the boss of bosses position. His term in office was merely a few months, as he was assassinated by gunmen working for Charlie Luciano in September 1931. We considered how best to publicize the researcher's discovery and to make known his vigilance, good fortune, and extreme generosity. He indicated that he was uninterested in any personal publicity, but hoped the appearance of the photograph would reignite Maranzano research. It seemed to us that the most appropriate method of bringing the image to the public was to package it in an entire Informer issue that discussed all that we know about Maranzano. While it falls somewhat short of the researcher's wish for a Maranzano book, we hope it will serve as a foundation for future research. This August 2019 issue contains a number of articles that approach the issue from different perspectives. These articles contain some overlapping data, but each is written to address a specific question about Salvatore Maranzano.